Plastic model builders, welcome back for some more model making madness. In our last episode, what you saw there, we were about to put some stuff onto this plane. We put some stuff onto the plane, like you see right here, and now we are going to get into part 4. By the way, one of my viewers wanted me to mention them, so I am going to do that, and that viewer just wants you to be a little bit more dynamic about yourself. So there it is. Here we are, masking off some windows, which is such a fun thing with this plane. You have to be careful when you do that. This is the bubble window. It's a bubble, that's why I call it a bubble window, of course. So, I just got my tape going around here. These windows stayed masked off for quite a long time because I didn't want to scratch them up because this plane's getting moved, and this was, for me, the only way I knew how to do this because you had to put all these windows in ahead of time because they all go in through the inside of the plane and not the outside. So it made it a little bit more difficult. So that's the second bubble window here, and here's the rear of the plane. Just going to, using my little end of a brush there, it's made out of wood, so you can press that down a little bit more firm, that way you see where the lines are supposed to go. Peel off your tape, and voila, that's how it looks. So now is some fun stuff. We are going to glue our fuselage together. So yes, here's my messy glue. As you know, I get glue all over the place and I'm messy with it, and I don't care. That's what's so fun about modeling, is I can do it my way and you can do it your way. That's why it's model making madness. But remember, you gotta make it look pretty in the end. So here we are, coming towards the end of the tail right here, getting all these round parts here by those beds, more round parts, and some other round parts. So now that we've got these round parts, just go around the tail, the final bit of it. Make sure you get the rudder like you see me doing here, and then go on the end right here where that gunner's seat, get that, and there's that tail strike you see sitting out there. We had that glued in place, so I didn't believe I glued the other side in. Here we are. That is the thing that holds the wings together, basically gives them some support. Gluing this fuselage together using a bunch of clamps. There we go, one on the end, put a rubber band right here. I am putting a lot of tape on this to hold it together. I could have used rubber bands, but that would probably be really hard to get over all this stuff. So we got this, or I could have put them on ahead of time and cut some rubber bands somehow, but that didn't seem feasible either. But here you go, lots and lots of tape. You see me holding it together, the top, the bottom, the fronts, and the sides. There we are, that should be all the tape. Let it dry. Now I'm taking everything off again. So just as quickly as it went on, it's coming back off. You can let that sit as long as you want to make sure this fuselage is good. You see the seams that we have here. I'm going to have to work on those. I'm not great at seams, but you're going to learn eventually. By the way, that tail stripe gets painted a different color in the end. There were so many different green parts that I couldn't make up my mind. So remember this, we cut that out before. Well, now I'm putting this is small styrene that you can buy at the stores. It's like 0.010, so it's real thin. So I put that on there just to give that some coverage. So when I put some, what do you call that stuff? There we go, some green stuff, sealer, not sealer, filler, putting the filler in, and you can smooth that out. This is how I did it. I'm not sure how you do yours. I put the tape there over the little circles because I didn't want to lose those, because that's where we got to put some guns. They go right in there. So sand that down. Eventually, I'm going to glue this onto the plane now. Isn't that fun and exciting? So watch out for that little round thing there. That's also indicator of where this is supposed to go, by the way. So pop that on. So you're going to have to fix that up too. Lots of wheels. You see there's 8 pieces there. Why? Because there's 2 wheels per side. So total of 8 little pieces for 2 wheels per side. There you go. And of course you have 2 front wheels to go along with that, so that's 4 more to have to cut out. There they are. Of course, see, those are the smaller ones, so it makes it a little bit easy, right? Yeah, no, not so much. Anyway, there they are. File them, sand them down, gotta look good. So here, as you can see, the treads do not line up with all the wheels, so make sure you get ones where they line up. You got to test fit them at all times to make sure the treads work where you want them to work. So here we are gluing them together now, and all the treads line up. So remember, make sure your treads line up, because some of them don't, and it looks really weird. So here you go, putting the front wheel together, as I already did the back wheels. I'm not going to show you all of them. Sand them. You see where the treads line up there. There are some where they don't. Remember, I said that already. painting my wheels a rubber color. I don't think I used black, but they look black even though it's actually kind of like a brown color, I believe. I could be wrong, I don't know. Whatever works, you know, that's my motto. It looks kind of brown, just hasn't dried yet. So just carefully go along. You see how the capillary action works, and it pulls that paint right in there. Just go right along the edge. This is, of course, the top of the wheel, not the bottom, because the bottom's got a little hole in there where you put it into the landing gear. Here's the other one, just showing you the same thing again. You know, not a lot to do here, but it's got to get done. Some videos are fun, some are boring, but you know, you got to show the whole process. Some guys, they just like to make their video as quick as possible. I like to make a lot of series in the video and gives you something to watch. Comes back to, and it's good for the views, right? So here's the front wheel. You can tell it looks a little bit differently. The hubs are clearly different than the back wheels. Go around this, and you see I've gotten all the tops of all these wheels. You got to let it set. I just got that resting on some putty there, the new technique that I'm using, and it works really well for me. Sometimes I forget to use it, and it's stupid. See how I went around there? By the way, if you can't tell, that's the back side because it's got that little square there. Those are actually a tight fit when it comes to snapping those in, and we will show you that pretty soon. So stick around. By the way, there's no commercial break. It's just 15 minutes of fun and watching me paint stuff. So here we go, just using my little knife there and the plastic. That way I can move those off. Here we are painting the hubs. They went a steel color. At least that's how I did it. Doesn't really matter. I'm not too big on accuracy all the time. I do like to make the paint job look pretty, don't you? Excellent. So fill in those little holes right there. This is the front wheel. So just kind of go around this, a little bit harder to do, and then fill in the areas there because it's grooved. It's almost like building a droid. By the way, I am building a droid. Here's a link to it. Click on it. That way you can see the droid being built. So here you go, final little square there, and that's what these look like. There's the back side. Paint that, one more. Get your paint all up in there. Make it look good. This is wonderful. Halfway through the video. So here's a failed attempt at trying to get some stuff. Make sure you clear out your holes, putting a little bit more putty on there. Didn't want to get stuff everywhere. Here I didn't put any tape. Wasn't concerned. I want to see how well I do. Sometimes you like to challenge yourself. Probably would have been best to file that down first before putting some putty on, because really it's just filler. It's not gap seam hiding and stuff like that. So just working it in there. It covered fairly decently, but I got to be careful with how you do that, and if you go back later, because it's got a lot of holes in this plane, you don't want to get any of that stuff inside on the canopy, because I do that and it's like permanently there now, so I'm disappointed. You saw me sanding that. These are just painting the hydraulics. Lots of different lifters on this plane. You got some for the bomb bay doors, you got some for your landing gear. So I don't know which ones these are, because there's so many of them. A lot of things go green because the interior chromate, these are part of those greens, and here's part of the things that go painted silver. Like I said, a lot of them, I don't know where all of them go, but you know, stick around on the next video. I bet you will find out where they all go, because you know, that's some fun stuff in that one too. Start putting on wings and decals. So anyway, here you go, putting on some wheels. This are the rear landing gear. You got to kind of push these down really hard. Get one on there. I'll show you different ways of doing this. And then push the other one on and really squeeze them together like that. And again, you can see right there where the treads met up. So that's important. Here I'm just putting the glue inside of the wheel instead of on the gear. Same thing, push it down. Well, now both landing gear are complete with the exception of the front gear, and we're doing that right now. So put on one and then the other, and sorry it's off camera, but that's done. Now fun stuff, masking off the canopy. Got my clear tape here, using this toothpick, going around the edges to really press it in good. That way you can see where these panel lines need to be cut out. Slowly take your knife, go around these. As you can see, there's 4 little windows right there. Well, yeah, that's just on that side. Then you see 3 more, then 2 more, then 2 more, then 3 and 2. So that's a lot of windows to cut out. And if you want to do the inside, Chromate Green, you have to do the inside too. So that's, I don't know how many windows that is, 7, 9, 18 on the front, I guess. We'll see pretty soon, right? Hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe it's like 2 less, which isn't that much better. No, it's definitely 4, 3, and 2. So that's 7, 9 aside. 18 windows for the top of the canopy. 18 windows for the underside of the canopy. You can even cut one of those out and have a little guy hanging from the inside. At least that's what it's like on the B-29 Enola Gay model from Revell. This is not that kit though, so here you see me cutting out the inside, and I'm pretty sure because you can see the curve is a little bit different. Hard to tell, I know, is what it is, right? So there that is, and here we are, just more windows. Sometimes it's easy to go line by line, like in a row, and then come back and do the other side, just turning it that way. You're not doing full squares, you're just doing sections of straight areas in a row, and then you can, here we are pulling off tape. Coming towards the end of the video, you got about 4 minutes left of this. So I thank you for sticking around and watching all of this, because that's what it's about, right? Here you are, picking off a small little piece there. This is the front windshield. You see that little gun sight there? Probably should have left that off, but sometimes you don't think and you get ahead of yourself, and that's what happened here. So some round pieces, see me pulling off the tape for that. A lot of masking that had to do with these windows, and it just takes a while, so take your time, I guess, do it right. You know the drill. It's model making, so you know, you just have to go with the flow. And you see it looks like it's masked off, but it really isn't, because that's just the tape showing through the underside, and this is the top side. So there we go, just about all masked off with that. What are we going to do after we have it masked off? We're going to paint the inside a wonderful chromate color, but of course mask off everything. So here we go, painting this chromate green right here. We also have landing gear that we will do. Let's get the front windshield. You see all of that just like it's supposed to be. Looks pretty, doesn't it? I agree. So here's the front windshield, painting that. Go all the way around the edges, darken it up a little bit. See, my paint was a little thin, so I had to let it sit a little bit longer, especially, you know, it doesn't like bonding to plastic that's clear for whatever stupid reason. So here we are, landing gear. You could probably fill those in if you don't like those circles. They might be supposed to be there, I'm not sure. Just look at some reference pictures. I think maybe that's why I left them, is it looked like they were kind of there on reference pictures, so you know how that goes. You don't always want to mess with everything. Peeling off the stickers, really the tape I should say. Sometimes it's easy to get a toothpick and get all the corners off, and that's what I'm doing on this side, so that's another way to see how this is done. And boom, front is completely done, and we are doing the inside of the round window. So what happens now, we get some glue. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. I mess up one way, so you actually see the same thing twice. I'm using regular plastic cement here. You gotta be careful so things don't haze. We're going to put on the front glass, and it only goes one way. You see that one thing is pointing down, so make sure you get that right. And here I am testing the fit of this. See how it pops up? Well, you gotta keep shaving it down and make sure it fits in properly. So here, this was actually before I did that, so this is a little video editing trick. Yes, I gave away a secret. That's okay. Putting some plastic cement on here so you can see you can do it this way, whatever you want to do, and just put your canopy on top, and you'll have to hold it. Alright, so that's one method. The other method is this one. Get your crystal clear Elmer's glue, whatever you want to call it, school glue, I don't care. For bonding paper, it works for plastic too, and it dries clear. So stick it on, same thing, hold it down. Congratulations, we're coming towards the end. This is what you'll see in the next video. Subscribe so you can see that video, comment, and of course give me some likes. I thank you for watching this whole video. We got a gun right there, engines. Till next time, see ya.